I just have to give a shout out to Muse Studios for making sure that these stories get out, because I know even just me looking at the different stories, I've just learned about some dancers who I don't know about. Well, my name is Leisha Strachan. I'm 46 years old. I'm born and raised here in Winnipeg. I am a first-generation Black Canadian, daughter of Margaret and Jerome Strachan from the tiny Caribbean island of Grenada. I actually started with baton twirling first. I was 5 and my mom wanted to put me in an activity to get me out of the house, really. I was just a very active child, and I fell in love with it. And as we started going into the sport more, I found that I needed dance. You know, it's really baton's this marriage of dance and acro, gymnastics, as well as the baton skill. I did start dancing though when I was 8. I started with Caribbean dancing, and I had a wonderful teacher who is a very good friend of mine. I just loved watching her and the joy she had with performing, and in teaching Afro-Caribbean dancing just really made me want to move that way and be a part of the culture. I needed it for baton, and so I started at the Royal Olympic Ballet in the general division, taking ballet 3 times a week, to really get the technique, and that's all I took, was only ballet, because that's all my parents really could afford. After that, I just really wanted to take jazz because I saw that there were a couple more Black people in the jazz class, and I thought, you know what, can I just switch to jazz? And I loved jumping and turning, and then to continue this story, I at the time finished university. I started teaching physical education. That's what I did my degree in. And I was starting to teach phys ed, and I started missing dancing. And I found an African dance class through contemporary dancers. I just kind of took a chance. I saw, you know what, African dance, like kind of going back to my roots and where I started when I was 8. I just met Casimiro, and it was awesome. Like, he just made it so fun, and I loved just connecting to my roots and learning more about West African dance. And so he asked me to be part of an Afro dance, where there were mostly, only 6 people in the company, and there was like everyone else who was trained and me who didn't go to school for dancing, but was Black. And he, I think, really was just like, I really would like to have a Black person in my company and doing things. So just able to reconnect with dance and movement. So that's my long story, but I've been here for a while. So right now I'm the director of Anansi School for the Performing Arts, and we've been a group here in the city for the last 12 years, and we teach children and youth about African and Caribbean culture through the arts, so through dance and drama and music. I do most of the choreography and kind of conceptualization and teaching of the dance piece. I'm a baton coach. I've been coaching now for over 25 years. I have a club here in the city that's just actually celebrating its 25th year this year, called Aerial Fusion Baton. I don't really teach dance, I just really focus on baton choreography. But all my students take dance to help with their sort of baton development and movement that's really required in baton. But yeah, so I've been teaching and doing choreography there for a long time. So as an athlete, I had a chance to represent Canada at 7 World Championships, and I have 2 medals from the World Championships, 2 bronze medals. I guess all the places I've traveled for baton and worlds have been to France, mostly Paris. I've been to Italy, I've been to Hawaii. That's where our last World Championships was, and probably the reason why we wanted to go to Worlds that year. And it was awesome. I went to Japan for my very first World Championship when I was 14. As a coach, I've had athletes go to World Championships in Sweden and Florida. They've also made it to international cups. We've been to Holland, we've been to France again a couple times. For the last, I want to say 12 or 13 years, I've been doing choreography with a group in Scotland, in Edinburgh. So I go out there once a year and just set all the routines, which is amazing. And I tend to do a little bit of guest teaching in England as well. And then I was in Australia just last year and did, for my job. I'm a professor at the University of Manitoba, so I'd gone there for a research leave in December 2019. And then I did some baton coaching while I was out there, because wherever I go, there's baton friends, which I think is the same in dance. You can go and you just make connections for people all over, and then and they just have you come and teach, and it was wonderful. Oh, there's so many things I love with dance and with baton. I love performing. I've always been a performer. I'm not a natural practicer. You can ask my mom and my coaches. I just love the way it makes me feel when I'm moving in a space and when you connect to a song or connect to a piece. And with baton, I've just always loved the challenge of baton. I've always loved how unique it is, how I can really try to inspire young people, inspire my own students. And that's, to me, the biggest part of coaching or teaching. What keeps me going? I honestly think it just comes back to the students. Even through this crazy COVID time, you know, they show up every time and they work so hard, and that inspires me. I also just think building relationships, I think that's what keeps me going. I love when I have athletes who are done with baton and no longer athletes. They really are just very close friends now because we spent so much time together in their development. That is what keeps me going. I love that, when you can affect someone's life, really. For young Black dancers or anyone who's a young Black choreographer, be involved in community. You know, if there's a way that you can contribute back to community, to me, that's the most important thing. You know, we have to think about the generation behind you and bringing them up. So, you know, we've opened doors, our generation, the generation behind us did. This generation is definitely going to open some more doors, but we really want to just now let the door fly open for these young Black dancers. Representation does matter. I just want to shout out to the Anansi group. They really keep me going, and they hold me accountable, which is amazing. I need that all the time. And also just people within the Black community who have been my elders and have been people who I've looked up to. I do want to make one more point though too, is just encouraging people to keep dancing. It doesn't matter how old you are. I still take class and I love taking class. If you love dancing, keep dancing.